Welcome to the You Can Man podcast, episode 50. I'm Josh.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Dave.
And on this week's episode, what you working on?
Fella.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the You Can Man podcast, where we believe what one man can do, you can do as well, with a little help from your friends and the proper know-how. This week, we're going to be talking about what you're working on and just talking about the projects that we've got coming up in the works or things that maybe we are currently working on.
Or procrastinating.
Or started and never finished.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
That's the one I do the best.
But hey, you're still working on it. I mean, because you started it.
It's in the works.
Right?
We're working on it.
So we thought that our audience might appreciate some of the projects that the hosts of You Can Man are working on.
Yeah.
So, but first, what has been going on with you guys? Dave, go.
Do you guys get in a lot of like near misses in your cars?
Not as I get older.
Not as much.
I'm a more conservative driver than I was in my youth.
See, I have a theory about that you shouldn't change your the way that you like your instinct to drive. Like I'm a more aggressive driver, I guess. And when I'm like, I should kind of, throttle back a little bit, I'm like, no, because that takes me out of my rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. Do you drive the same way that you do when you were 19, 17 years old?
Yeah, but just better. Obviously.
That's different.
No, that's I'm kind of joking there, but I've been getting in a lot of near misses lately.
Oh,
I know it's
not riding with you.
Freaking me out, man. Very few of them are my doing.
Do you remember one time we were in our mid to late 20s? We were riding together. It was pouring down rain, and I locked him up on Sandy Plains Road and slid for about 50 yards and then stopped within inches of the car in front of me.
I think I'm cursed because you just described something that happened to me with somebody else as well.
You were driving?
No, I was not driving. Okay. I don't make mistakes like that. But no, I don't remember that situation.
Okay, I thought you would. It was traumatic for me.
Anyway, I obviously have handled the situations admirably.
Okay.
I think that we drive, anytime we get in a car, it's just a series of near misses because think about the fact that we're driving 50 miles an hour right next to each other going in the opposite direction. I agree,
but these have been ones that I'm like, I don't know how we didn't like rub paint on that one. Like so close that I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Are you distracted driving?
No, I'm not distracted.
It's always someone else's fault?
It is almost always somebody else's fault.
Cool.
I can think of one instance out of like 10 maybe.
Well, we know
the last year.
Well, we know he's not on Facebook.
I am not Facebooking while I'm driving for sure. That's not happening.
We know he's not on our Facebook group page.
I've said it before, but I think we all agree that we each could sleep in the passenger seat with each of us, regardless of who's driving.
Yeah. Yes.
That's rare.
It's high praise this day and age.
It is. It is. So I wanted to mention our mailbox episode. I know it's been a while, but it's just popped up on the Facebook group. And we went through, various ways of installation, ways to install mailboxes. And I meant to bring up this new foam product that they have.
Our old buddy Alan brought that up.
Yeah, I failed to mention it. Yeah, Alan on Facebook group brought it up. It's a great product. I've seen contractors who I think are pretty legitimate talk about the product as well. And I think it must have some sort of longevity. That's my only worry with it.
Yeah, I remember watching a YouTube video of this like super old redneck dude and him showing how to use it.
Those are the best.
For the people that aren't on the group, including me, please describe this product because I'm not familiar with it.
It's essentially expanding foam, but it's a very, very high density foam that essentially hardens to like
you dig a hole like you're using concrete.
What? So why do you not use concrete? Is this stuff just easier to use?
Well, yeah, you literally just pour the stuff in, and then it fills the void. So you don't even have to mix any kind of concrete or anything. You just put the foam in. And
it's lighter too. I'm guessing it has structural integrity over a certain amount of years, or else they wouldn't be selling it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would gather that as long as the soil around your hole is completely compacted and you use the foam properly, I don't know if it's just as good as concrete, but it seems, I guess for all the applications that you would be using just regular Quikrete, then yes, the foam is completely comparable.
Yeah.
Because we're talking like a fence post or
maybe if
or
someone
a
can't
mailbox.
lift 80 pounds, you know?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it sounds like it's easier to use. And a mailbox, there's not a whole lot of demand on a mailbox in terms of,
Right.
I mean, if a car hits it, obviously that's a big deal. But a fence post is going to see a lot more force than a mailbox. And so it sounds like foam could be a good alternative.
Right. And I say just pour it in. It is a 2-part system. So, right.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it is.
Well, I said I was going to fix my mailbox. I haven't done that. We're probably going to talk about that here in a few minutes. So maybe I'll try the foam out.
Yeah. Did you guys, so we got snow this week, which timely, I know, because our episodes are like 2 weeks out. I don't care. It snowed in Georgia. It's a big deal. Did you see that picture on Facebook that went around from our local news station? That it was a picture of the same pasture on like a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday. And on Thursday, the pasture was flooded. Like there was like 2 feet of water in this whole pasture.
I didn't see
the
that.
The next day, it was sunny, I think.
And it was dry.
Yeah, and then Saturday, there was like 6 inches of snow on it.
Well,
and I was
no,
like, that is
here in
Georgia.
Atlanta, it was legitimately 60-something degrees 2 days before it snowed, right? Because it flooded, more or less, 60 degrees.
Rained cats and dogs.
It cleared out, and then the next day, snow.
Yes.
It has been crazy, but
And the snow was gone that night.
I'll take the wild swings over just what we had in September, October, where it was like 60 solid days of 95 degrees, just brutal heat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that gets old.
That gets really old really quickly.
Not for me.
Oh, man, no. It's too much.
Give me 95 degrees any day.
Really?
I need to move up into like Kentucky or something.
In
I feel like
fact,
they would have the
Yeah,
best.
it gets cold up there. You go into like North Carolina,
It does, but
gets
it's not
cold.
But it's not the tundra for 6 months.
That's true. The ground is not frozen for 9 months.
I have been longing for really, really hot temperatures. I've been thinking as I'm hiking, I cannot wait until this is super hot.
That's true. That's true because
The older I get, the more I can't tolerate it.
I mean, the cold weather runs are like tomorrow morning. I have to get up and do my run in the morning, and it's going to be 32 degrees. Which, if anyone in the north is listening, they're laughing. But
no,
32
freezing's
degrees is
freezing no
cold.
matter where you are. It's
And,
cold.
Yeah, I don't like that. I prefer the summer when I can get up at 5 a.m. and it's 70 degrees.
I agree with you, but when it's 98 degrees for 60 days, for me, that's past the limit.
All right, we have officially overrun our time talking about the weather.
But
All right,
we're
Dad.
old men.
So let's move on to the
right.
topic at hand today.
Do you want
guys.
to just round table this? And we'll just
Yeah.
do like one at a time around the table.
Yeah, well, I'll start off maybe not with a project. I just want to know if you guys keep a running list of house to dos.
No.
Yes.
I started a list. I've always, I always kind of have a list in my head. Now, this is beside the honey-do list, so that's a whole nother thing, right?
Oh, this is like your list.
This is my list.
Okay.
And I started probably, I don't know, a couple months back. I was like, man, I just started looking around. There's a ton of stuff that I need to do. So I started writing it all down. And it is a significant list. I mean, this is like
That's why I don't write it down, because it's just too much. I'd get overwhelmed.
I've got enough on here to keep me busy for a solid year.
I
think.
agree. Yeah, I have a note on my iPhone that is just a list of things in flight or things to do, and it's
You're not going to get all those done. It's not going to happen.
Ooh.
It will never happen.
challenge.
It's not going to happen, man. How's that shed coming along?
That's not really on the list though.
Should be.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
A shed.
It's a life changer.
But honestly, months ago, I was like, I am going to build a shed. But now I'm thinking, maybe I'll just buy one. I don't know.
That's a big
But
undertaking.
Actually, the shed has been put on the back burner, actually, for me, at least. I got to thinking about it. I was like, I could use a lot more room in this garage, but I got other things that I would rather do. So a shed is kind of on the back burner for now.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And
But
I don't
do-
have a newer mower too, because I really wanted the shed to put the mower in.
No, you have a mower that it's the kind of mower you leave out in the backyard.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
And it has. It's bad.
But there's value in that, right? Like you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's why I like driving old cars. It's the same principle.
Yep.
You know, you just don't have to worry about it. But anyway, so shed has been put on the back burner for me. But Josh, name a project that you got coming up?
How about a project that I am in the middle of? I think I mentioned, I don't know how many episodes ago, but master bath. It is today. It's like February. In July, I started a master bath like redo, just like a refresh, I'd call it. So when we moved in 5 years ago, we gutted both bathrooms. The hall bath got put together because it's the one that people have to see. The master bath got put together, but like we have a stand-up shower, and it was designed to have glass. And
is there anything other than a stand-up shower?
Yeah. Well, I like lay down showers.
Okay.
No, if you have a tub, right, and a shower.
It's not a shower tub.
I know what he meant. I was just giving him a hard time.
So it was going to have glass, and it has had a shower curtain for 5+ years.
You should never have put that curtain up. You should have left nothing up.
That is true.
And just been like, okay, we're not putting a curtain up. We're going to put glass up.
That's a good recommendation. Yeah. So shower curtain, those are fun. 5+ years. So finally we're like, yo, we're getting glass. Well, take the shower curtain down. And then I realize this shower is already in like bad shape. Like, I don't think we had the best tile guy. So I had to redo some grout. And so anyway, I made it look all new, all refreshed, redid some grout. Started trimming out a bunch of stuff around the shower that had never been done. Got the glass put in. It's looking like $1 million. Replaced the hardware. And I am 92% done. I installed a slide out drawer in one of our cabinets and did those flip down, like the under sink flip down. I think you've got one, Tim.
Yeah.
For the little whatever sponges. We got 2 of those in our master bath, and we're gonna do our like toothbrush. We're gonna put our toothbrushes in there because those are always like all over the place. Anyway, those are like in progress. I've got the door fronts off and they're just sitting.
You know how I'll know when you're done is I won't see your minivan in the driveway because you'll park it back in the garage. Right?
Yes, that affected.
It was in the garage.
My garage, put the minivan in there. Well, to do all this trim work, and it was freezing cold and raining forever. So I backed the minivan out, set up my shop in its space, and so now the minivan's back outside.
That's the problem. If you clear out your garage just enough to get a vehicle in there, that's only going to work out for a week, because then you put one thing in there and the car doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah. So that's I need to get that buttoned up in the next 3 weeks. Fully.
Make it happen.
All right, Dave, what about you?
I honestly don't know where to start. I can think of any room in my house and there's something to do.
That's why you need a list. You've got to do a list.
And put the check mark by it in the notes, and then you can check it when you're done.
I'll think about it. Good. So the most glaring thing I've talked about on the podcast before is the roof over my screened-in porch is leaking.
You still haven't done that?
I haven't, because it's an expensive fix, and I'm like, I'll just do it myself, but I'm not going to do it myself.
Because you got to do the membrane roof.
I've got to. So yeah, my roof is not pitched enough over my screened-in porch for water to drain off quickly enough. So there's not enough pitch. The water tries to drain off, doesn't get off fast enough, so it just settles on the roof, and then it soaks through the plywood, and then it just rains.
But it gives you a water feature like through your fan.
I do get a water feature. It's very, very, very pretty, but that needs to happen. I've talked about that before, so that's not the other thing that I need to do that's top priority, because it just really bugs me, is my front door doesn't shut properly.
That's annoying.
It's very annoying. It doesn't latch. It'll lock, so you can lock it. That's the only way to keep it closed. If you forget to lock it and the wind blows hard enough, the front door opens up. And when you open it, it makes this crazy loud cracking sound that drives me nuts. It's the first thing I noticed when we looked at the house the first day before we bought it. But I got to fix that.
Sounds like your agent is terrible.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Josh Matthews. But I really, really want to fix that front door.
Is it the main doorknob latch? Is it not latching?
It's the main doorknob latch, correct. And then you also have to
does the door stick all the way around?
It sticks all the way. It doesn't. So you can, when the sun is up, you can see light all around the door. It's not.
Okay.
So what I think happened is they replaced the front door with a new door, but the frame isn't square, and so the new door doesn't fit in there properly, and it just wasn't hung.
I would probably rip that entire thing out, including the jamb, and just go get a whole new. Wouldn't you?
But
do
he's
that?
got side lights. Do you have side lights?
I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, you can. I mean, you could do that. I mean,
I haven't done it because it's a big job.
It is a big job.
You can buy the whole door assembly, right?
With the side lights.
With the side lights.
I don't want the side lights. I appreciate the side lights, but in terms of like security, I'm like, I could mow through this door in a half a second.
And what we're talking about side lights, just in case anybody doesn't know, is just individual panes of glass. Well, I guess they're individual panes. I guess you could have the fake.
Yeah, you could.
Whatever.
Depends. There's glass on the sides of the doors.
Glass on the sides of the doors, right?
Right. So the door, the actual door itself is not connected to the house. There's panels on each side with
well,
windows.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, it's still because those are connected in with
correct.
The studs.
Correct. Anyway, it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
How much you want to spend on that fix?
Maybe like
$0
$5 to $10.
What are we talking? Because man, doors can get super expensive.
They can get expensive, and
if
they're
you're replacing that whole thing. I mean, you're at $1,500.
Yep, that's $1,500
totally.
But if I do it myself, I can do it for $500.
Yeah, you got to figure out the exact reason that your door is.
I do, and
that's
that's the problem. Is I truly believe that I can fix anything given X amount of hours, right? So I can fix this front door, but it's going to take me. It's not going to be a weekend job. It's going to be an at least 2 weekend job. So then I'm going to have to go through a week without having a front door. So anyway, that's what I'm dealing with.
I have replaced every single exterior door on my house. It's not crazy bad. Like I've even taken out a sliding glass door and replaced it with double French doors. That was a pretty big job. But I think you can totally do it. You know, especially if you buy the unit where they've already installed the side lights joined to the front door. It's just one big. I mean, you're gonna need some help.
I'm still not convinced I need to replace the door.
I bet you do.
I don't want to do it.
Is it new?
I believe it's a new door.
Okay.
Yes, I believe it is. I know the front of the house was redone. So anyway, it needs to get fixed.
Well, I've got tons I need to do, but I'm trying to think of more easier things that I could do to just get some stuff done. So I've got some pressure washing that I need to do. I feel like every other year I need to pressure wash a lot of the concrete.
Yep.
So I need to definitely do that. Have you guys ever sealed concrete after you pressure washed it?
No.
Okay.
Negative.
I did that one time, and I don't know if I guess it helped a little bit. So it's kind of weird because when you seal the concrete, it'll rain and then the concrete will still look dry because it kind of is.
So explain what it is you're doing when you seal it. Why would you want to seal your concrete?
Well, it's just an extra layer of protection, really. So the water is not soaking into the concrete, really. So it's basically just creating a top layer of the concrete and can, increase the longevity of the top layer of the concrete. So anyways, I got to do that. One thing I've been really wanting to do and just have not gotten around to it is making some stairs down to what I call our lower land. So our house sits on 2 lots, and one of those lots is kind of going down into a floodplain area where a creek is, but we've got a sloped area and then a flat area. So there is a pretty significant little hill, and you can go down it. I mean, you can walk down it, but you kind of have to like sidewalk down it.
Anyone over 50, you'd be very, very.
Oh, they're rolling down that hill.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll start going down it, and then I'll just kind of like run down it because it's just a little too steep. So I've been thinking about installing stairs going down that, and been just thinking through how I'm going to do that because I've got a whole stack of concrete blocks that was left here when we bought the house. And so I'm thinking, do I use that since I've got it here on site? Do I just make it out of concrete block? And then I'm like, that's going to look bad. Do I face it with something? So to make the structure out of concrete block, and then I put some sort of like, I don't know.
We should poured concrete stairs.
I've always wanted to do that.
That would be cool, but very expensive.
It's a lot of prep.
And a lot of prep.
Yeah.
Think about all the form work.
The form work, that would be a lot of work.
And, or then I'm just thinking, well, what if I just cut into the hill literally with a shovel and just put some rock from flat rock.
That's probably your least expensive option.
Yeah,
right?
but then I'm thinking, is 5 years down the road, am I just going to have to redo the
Have
whole
you
thing?
seen? I really like the look, and I think the longevity is pretty good. But those landscape timbers, like the big,
I've thought about that as well.
So you build like each stair is like a mini pad, and then you backfill it with some like crushed stone.
I've seen Raja do it.
Yeah, those are so nice.
And when
Those
I
are
say that,
so
I mean
nice.
Raja from this old house,
Who
which
just
he
retired.
just retired.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
I think he's going through some health stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's a turnover coming of kind of the whole cast,
Yeah,
right?
It's true.
They've been
End
doing it
of
for a
an
while.
era.
They're
End of an
grooming Trethui's son.
Yeah, him and then the other young guy that's kind of like Tom Silver Jr. kind of.
Yeah.
What is his name? I can't remember now, but I think he's kind of moving into that territory too. But anyway, so that's another one of my projects. So Josh, what you got next?
Let's see. So one of them is a screen around the trash cans. So our like outdoor garbage cans.
You
I'm
did
so
a
glad you
screen.
said that because I'm sick of looking at those trash.
I know. Every time anything on the front of my house, I'm like, the Harmon's probably.
And
got me.
I'm actually kidding. I really
But
could
you
care
can
less.
see my garbage cans from the front of the house, and it's the only way. It's the only place I can put them right now because I can't put them on my back patio. I don't
You
want
sneak
on
them
the
around the
patio.
side, though, don't you? And they're a little like knee wall.
There is, but it's a knee wall, so you can
Right.
still. But and if you're coming from the street towards my house, you can totally see them beside the house. Anyway, they need their own little screen, but it's one of those things where I don't want to do that yet because I want to redo the whole side of that house. Like I need to do some excavation. I want
You want to bring that
to
grade
extend,
down.
Well, yeah, want to bring the grade down. Want to extend my driveway because I need a new driveway. That's another project. But I want to widen my driveway and make a sidewalk around the side of the house, make it like super nice. And then I could definitely have a beautiful trash can screen over there. So I should
Yeah.
go ahead and build a screen because
That sounds like
a
one of those
driveway's not in the
projects.
cards.
Yeah, I think you're gonna do that in about 5 years.
Yeah. Or
I mean,
10.
let's be realistic.
Or 10,
here.
yeah.
Hey, but when you go to get the driveway, you just let me know because I want to see if we can work some sort of deal.
Yeah.
You know, because if they're already going to be having to bring all these concrete trucks out, if they could do, I don't know. I feel like we could get a deal.
But yeah, if they could form them both at the same
If
time. and
anybody
have the
listening-
Bobcat work.
Yeah, if anybody listening has ever done that before, like gone in with one of their neighbors on some sort of driveway deal where like, hey, if you get yours, I'll do mine, same kind of thing, same
Discount,
contractor.
a little bulk discount.
Yeah, let us know if that actually worked out.
Because it's probably whatever mobilization fee they charge. That's
what I mean.
probably what would get split.
yeah,
Like, so it might not be that much because they're
problem-
still rolling trucks. Trucks
yeah,
are trucks.
that's true. That's
But
true.
The problem with doing that, though, at your house is you can't dig right up next to your house. You can't drop that grade down right there because you're going to be exposing the slab.
No,
right?
so my garage is right there.
Yeah.
There should be a footer all the way around that garage.
Right.
So I think we're okay. And the garage is down below grade on that side. So I think we'll be okay.
All right. That's a big project.
That includes driveway. Then comes a retaining wall with that. So I mean, I'm in the $20,000 plus range
For
already.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Dave, what else you got, man?
Next up for me is the powder room on our first floor. It had a leak in the ceiling
Yes,
and
it
the
did.
wall. I've talked about that before. And
Now, what makes a powder room versus like a guest?
It's a
guest
full
bathroom?
I don't want to be boastful. All right. But it's a full bath down there. It's not really a powder room, but it's the,
Dave doesn't have half baths.
no, I don't have half baths. It's all full baths. But this one is the one that, people who come over would use. It's on the main floor. There was a pipe up in the ceiling above that was leaking very slowly. So it took us a couple of years to figure out what was going on. But finally we had to rip the ceiling open, had to call a plumber in, and he replaced some piping and fixed it. But plumbers don't fix drywall, right?
No.
So we have a kind of a 4 foot by 4 foot hole in the ceiling that I put drywall up. I taped it.
Oh.
And I'm not a drywall guy, so there's quite a difference in elevation between
Yeah.
the surrounding drywall and the new drywall. The new drywall is recessed.
Did you go in with 5/8 or one?
I went in with 5/8, and it was still. I don't know what happened. It still not enough. It's
Well,
not,
at least it's not sticking proud.
Well, do you
It's
have
not
a,
sticking
you have
down.
a stippled ceiling, right?
I do. I have a stippled
that's-
ceiling,
that adds
and
a little
it's not,
depth.
and that's not going to look right when I do it. But anyway, I need to get a bunch of mud
to
up there.
scrape that whole
Well, I don't see it anymore because it blends into the scenery.
I think you should scrape it. I mean, at this point, you should make it a smooth
But
ceiling.
then I would have one smooth ceiling in my house.
But no one would care or notice.
Yeah.
Except you.
It's going to look bad either way. But that needs to happen. I'm not going to call somebody out just to do that. I mean, I'd call somebody out to scrape it and do the ceiling maybe. But anyway,
A drywall guy would do that.
He would.
That'd be a reasonable project for a small drywall guy.
but I could also do that too.
But would you rather pay $300 to have someone else do it?
Well,
day.
I host a worldwide You Can Man podcast.
But we've talked about that.
It's
now,
true.
Listen, Dave.
It's true.
We've said, look, what one man can do, you can do as well, but just not drywall.
Yeah, not drywall and not painting.
Or pouring your own driveway. You know,
I think we've established that. I think we all just do not like drywall. So
yeah, if you punch a hole in the wall, you can repair that. But yeah, a whole room
Been there.
of scraping the ceiling and
Remudding,
skimming it.
yeah.
Yeah, no need. Don't waste your time on that. We're just kidding. You can do it, but Dave shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I don't have the time to
it's
do
so
it.
weird the mentality of myself versus a lot of other guys are like, what you don't like drywall? Like, yeah, I would really prefer to hire someone out to do that. And then all these other
an
guys
art,
are like,
man.
It is an art.
it is
It's
the most fundamental do-it-yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to do
It
that.
is, but you know that you're not going to make. It's not going to look right.
Dave,
It's really something that you got.
Once
if you scrape it, I will help you patch that because I've done some legitimate drywall work at my own house. And I bought the big blades. And so I've got the right tools the sanding's the worst part.
Well, so I've seen people
got the
scrape
tools
it.
too, man. But once you see an efficient drywall crew come in,
Yep.
If you're
And-
drywalling a room, yes.
and do an entire area of a house, and they are just in and out of there so quick, you're like, oh gosh,
That's
okay,
amazing.
I can't.
I've seen them do. I've seen them half scrape a ceiling and then come back over.
Just do a knockdown.
They'll knock
Yeah.
it down and then they'll
Yeah.
put some new mud up there and then it'll be a smooth ceiling.
Yep.
So maybe that's the way to go.
Yep.
Yeah, you could do that.
I need to get the pros
sure.
out though.
Your bathroom's
Okay.
not that big.
That's not big.
I've got some other windows I want to replace. So I replaced all the windows on the front of my house, and I think I'm going to start just working my way around the house. So like every single year, I'd like to replace maybe 3 or 4 windows until I work my way all the way around the house. So that's another big project that I've got to do.
Yeah, windows. We had the window episode recently. Got some feedback on that from a mutual friend of ours who
Yeah.
he likes the what do you call them?
The pocket windows?
Just the pocket window.
Well, because he did a full frame replacement and he said, listen, Tim was playing it down. He said, that is a real job. Like it is a lot of work. It's so much more work than replacing just
I
in the pocket
feel like
window.
I gave an accurate description of how much more work
He
it
did.
was.
Yeah, Tim did pause and say, "Now look, this is."
I don't think he was emotional enough about it.
I don't know. He did. I don't know. Tim did a good job, but yeah, look, it's all about what you want. You know, if you just do the pocket window, you're not getting down to that rough framing. You're not getting into any of the insulation or the weatherproofing.
And I think, too, that my mentality with my house that we're in now, I have no intention of ever leaving.
So you're going to do it right.
Well, I've jokingly said, like, when I leave here, it will be on a stretcher. So
If you're lucky.
if I'm lucky. So
Covered or uncovered?
probably
covered.
Hopefully, they don't make people see that. But anyway, so I'm thinking ahead. Like, I want to make sure these windows last the rest of my life.
Yeah. No.
You know.
It was a good episode. It was just interesting feedback, but hey, it's all about what level you want to get
Yeah.
into here. All right, so I've got a literal just list in front of me. I'm going to go. Last one for me here is I need to do this spring. Reinforce my deck stairs. So
Yeah, you do.
I think I've mentioned the new deck we got a couple of years ago. The guy talked me into like we have a huge run of stairs. Like one, it's probably illegal. Like you're probably supposed to have a platform.
It looks
The
really
stringer
nice.
is too long.
You're
right?
supposed to have a landing, I'm sure, but we went with one full stretch, whatever. It's too long. It's bouncy. I don't like it. It's probably not safe. I need to put a reinforcement in the middle of it. Simple job. Should take a day. I need to do it.
That needs to happen.
The end.
All right, Dave, what you got next?
So the next one, this will be my last one as well, is I've got 2 sets of doors I need to replace.
More doors in your life.
Yeah, a lot of doors, but these are easier. So my shed doors, my shed is falling apart, but I think it's still got about 5 to maybe not 10 years, maybe 5 years in it. So I need to replace the doors because they've literally fallen off the shed and I'm just leaning them up against the shed.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks great. I've built the doors. I've built new doors.
Really?
Yeah, a year ago.
Wow.
And they're just leaning up against the wall in my garage because I don't have anybody to help me hang them up. Thanks a lot, guys.
You don't have any friends close by. That's
right.
sad.
So I need to get out there. I need to hang those doors. And then also the door to my crawl space, one of the hinges broke. When I bought the house, it was broken. And I can like kind of hang the door up there and make it stick. But a couple of weeks ago, I walked outside and the door was wide open. And I turned to my son. I was like, how long has that door been open? He's like, I don't know. It's been a long time. So I need to replace the hinge on that door. Also have that hinge. It's in my workshop. It's been there for over a year. I need to make that happen.
Let's knock that out one day.
Yeah, that's easy.
All right, and my last one, I would say, is our master bath renovation. So it's going to be a massive project that you guys will definitely hear me talk about.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it a couple episodes ago. It's like a full reconfiguration.
Yes, I'm taking over a closet. Essentially, there will be, if everything goes according to plan, our toilet will now be in where my closet is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You got to wrap your mind around that.
It'd be a water closet.
Exactly.
Oh, it's going to have its own little door?
I don't know if it's going to have its actual door or not, but maybe.
I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
A toilet room.
Private toilet's pretty nice.
Yeah. So that's going to be a huge job.
That's a big job.
Like moving the plumbing for a toilet, I have never approached that.
Yeah, it's big.
So I don't know. So that's my next big thing. You know, I noticed that we didn't really talk about any projects that we're actually doing right now.
I did.
Oh, you did. You're right. You're right.
Button up my bathroom.
That's true. That's true. You did do that. Okay. All right. Yeah. I hope you guys got some insight into what the You Can Man hosts are working on or should be working
Even
on.
the pros, we don't have it together at our own houses.
Right. We're just like everyone else.
Yeah.
We literally are. And actually, when I look at all these projects on the Facebook group page, I'm like, wow, I feel really...
Yeah.
I feel like an amateur. I really do.
There are some very proficient individuals in that group.
For sure.
It's a good thing to have.
All right, this week I've got the bonus segment. So guys, stick around.
This episode is sponsored by 1776 United. 1776 United is a patriotic and historically inspired lifestyle brand. They make the best patriotic shirts and apparel on the market today. I personally own many of their products, and if you want to don patriotic gear without looking gaudy, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and at 1776united.com. All right, welcome back. We've got Tim with the bonus segment today.
All right, I got to give props to Dave because I kind of stole this idea
As per usual.
from him. We were going back and forth on our group text, our You Can Man text group. Text thread, whatever.
Our
you know,
It's the way we communicate.
Yeah, the cool group text we have.
Right. Talking about show ideas and stuff. And so this was kind of part of something he was saying.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm entitling this segment, Know Your Host. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you
scary.
guys some just random
Okay,
questions.
good.
Okay.
I like this.
Now, some of these are just going to be yes, no, give me a short answer. But then other ones are going to be like, oh.
Riveting. All right.
I don't know. Okay, first question. What was your first job?
Oh, I like this. This is me.
Josh, go.
Let's see. My first job, the first thing I got paid to do, I feel like I was too old for this because my first job wasn't until I got out of high school.
No.
Yeah, like the first legitimate thing I got paid for.
He comes from privilege.
Yeah, I mean, we were ultra wealthy with 6 children and one parent working. No, yeah, I guess, I can't remember getting like a paycheck before this. But anyway, first year of college, delivering newspapers.
I was jealous of that job.
Yeah.
I was jealous you had that job.
I started with the afternoon newspaper. Is that even still a thing? Like there was an afternoon weekly paper and then like the Sunday paper. And there was morning papers like during the week. I had no idea all this went on, but yeah, I had the afternoon route.
Didn't you work at night though? I remember
I did for a while, like to make more money.
What would you do at night?
I'd
throwing
deliver
newspapers.
Yeah, I would deliver the morning paper at night.
So you'd have to go in early to get stuff prepped.
Yeah.
You'd go at
I
night.
mean, that was like I want to say, I was out at like 2 and 3 a.m. like throwing papers.
I think I rode around with you
I
one
think
time.
everyone did.
That's like riding around with a cop, but just not as cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wild job. And like, sorry for everyone that I sped through your neighborhood at 3 a.m., but there's usually no one on the streets.
You threw papers in a stick shift.
For a while, yeah. Yeah.
That's some talent there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you had to have timing down. I mean, you could slow down and throw it, but man, it became a game very quickly for an 18.
I feel like your first time doing that, it goes real slow.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do. It's not as easy because like not everyone gets a paper.
All right, quit churching it up. All right,
All right, Dave. What about you? First job.
So my first official job, I was a shoe salesman at the
You were.
shoe salesman at the largest shoe store in the world. I think it was. It's now out of business. Just for feet.
Yeah.
It was a terrible job. They beat
what
me.
kind of commissions are you getting on
Okay,
sneakers?
I'll tell you exactly. So I got paid $5.50 an hour, which was not minimum wage.
Rich.
Yeah, it was crazy, and then got paid 1% commission.
1% on an $80 shirt.
Yes, I want you to think about
amazing.
that.
That is an insult.
Yeah, so I had that job about 3 months, and I was.
What a business model.
It was a rough job. They ran us around like rented mules and beat us hard. I had that job for 2 to 3 months, and then I moved on. That was my first job, just for feet.
Wow. How old?
Okay.
How old?
I was 17, I think. I just turned 17.
So like senior year of high school?
No, it was the summer going into I was 16 because it was the summer going into my junior year.
Well, good for you.
All right. Should I answer it too? Or should
let's
I just,
hear it, man.
Okay. I think that my first official kind of job was at American Adventures. So for those of you.
I'm banned from life from American Adventures.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
so
well, I still can't
that's
go.
fine. So for those of you that don't know, we're in the Atlanta area, and it is an amusement park, but it was kind of geared towards smaller
amusement park
kids.
light.
Yeah. It was for like 8 to 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
It was miniature golf, arcade, and go-karts, right? And bumper boats, which is the reason that I got banned.
Super lame roller
They
coaster.
had a tiny caterpillar roller coaster.
I forgot about that.
Tiny roller coaster. That job was horrible. They got away with paying me below minimum wage.
Because you were 15.
Because you got
probably,
tips.
Right?
You got paid
I
tips.
was 14. No, I didn't get tips. They got away with paying me what's called a training wage.
Wow.
Okay? My training consisted of them handing me a broom and a thing to sweep stuff up with, into, or what am I trying to say? The little bucket. And that was my training, right? So basically, I just took out the trash. I cleaned up throw up. I remember cleaning throw up.
I've done that before.
I can remember wasting so much time at the trash compactor because I'd have to take the trash there. Well, somebody put like a stroller in the trash compactor. Well, it was just having a hard time compacting it. So I just ran that thing over.
I've done that. You try to see what's the limit of this trash compactor. Those things can take some abuse.
Yeah, exactly. So I hated that job.
How old were you?
14.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know you had that. That was before I knew you. I didn't know you had that job.
I shouldn't say I hated it, but I really
terrible.
I really disliked
It's
that
weird.
job.
My wife
these
worked
places
at American Adventures.
these places that mistreat their employees. It's interesting they're not in business anymore. Just for feet and American Adventures.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, next question. Cracker Barrel golf tee game.
Oh.
Totally.
Have you left just one?
Yes.
And was it by luck or strategy?
Luck.
No, I got good at it.
You
at
think
one
so?
point, yeah.
You think you could do it?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Please say you don't have one in your pocket.
No.
Okay.
My grandfather used to make those.
Oh, really?
Yeah? Okay. Favorite Little Debbie cake?
Zebra cakes. Easy.
I think so too.
Or the Christmas tree.
Oh, I was going to
around
say
the
that. Yeah,
holidays.
Christmas trees.
I mean, they're essentially the same
They
thing.
are the
right?
same thing.
Yeah.
Nothing
used
beats
to-
nothing beats a good zebra cake.
I used to rock. I mean, I like the oatmeal cream pies.
Oh, yeah.
That's my
okay.
go-to when I go camping. When I was a
the
kid,
regular size ones or the jumbo ones?
I
either
don't
one?
discriminate.
Okay.
When I was a kid, Star Crunch,
Yep.
the Rice Krispie,
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
caramel. Oh,
But as
that
an
was
adult,
good.
they just don't hit the
I haven't
spot.
had one in probably like 20 years, so I probably need to get one.
Yeah.
Star Crunch, that's where it's at.
Okay. Heinz ketchup, or do you not care?
Heinz, 100%.
I prefer Heinz. I'll eat whatever. but
Really?
I
Yeah, I'll
prefer
eat
Heinz.
anything, but yeah, Heinz is where it's
Heinz
at.
way below
Yeah,
Heinz.
totally.
I think
Okay.
this is another taste test challenge.
Yeah, I prefer Heinz too, but I guess I'll do other.
There was a lot of baggage around John Kerry Heinz when he ran for president. Do you remember all that?
I don't remember that.
He was married
Oh,
to the
yeah.
Heinz.
Yeah, the Heinz,
heiress.
yeah, right.
And so, yeah, as a good, staunch idiot 22-year-old, I was like boycotting Heinz for a minute.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Good for
Okay.
you.
Do you guys have any tattoos?
Where do I start? Negative. No
Yeah, I don't have any tattoos. I used to think, I was like, only an idiot would get a tattoo, but now I'm like, man, I should have got a
Only
sleeve.
now only hardcore people.
Well, I mean, they're so
I think
common.
You're weird if you don't have
Yeah,
a
they're
tattoo
so
now.
common now.
Yeah.
What about you, Tim?
Nope.
No tats.
Don't have any tattoos, but I have been thinking about getting one.
Let's do it.
Totally
So,
do it.
We'll see.
LBT.
All right. And then we'll make this the last one. And we'll keep this an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Okay? But I don't want to make this too
We
long-winded
can
here.
pitch some AMAs this way too.
If you could think back, what is the first do-it-yourself job in which you gained the most confidence? So you did this do-it-yourself job, you were thinking about hiring it out, but you did it yourself anyways. If you could think about, I think everybody kind of knows mine because I've talked about it as kind of part of the You Can Man story.
Yeah.
But actually, even before that,
Load bearing wall.
yeah. So I'd talk about a friend helping me take out a load bearing wall, but before that was like the Bronco restoration. My old Bronco.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That kind of gave a lot of confidence for me. But
Mine is definitely when we flipped a house. Like my wife and I bought a house like early in our marriage and flipped it, and it was one of those things like I'd done a little bit of everything, but this project was like full out everything, every surface of the house, plumbing, bathrooms, kitchen, gutted it. So that forced me into doing almost everything. So
okay.
yeah, that
Okay,
one definitely.
everything in a house. All right, we get it. I shouldn't have gone last, I guess. I haven't flipped a house, but probably the one that gave me the most confidence, or maybe the one I was most proud of when I was done, was a garage door opener replacement.
I'm still impressed.
Yeah, I am impressed with
because
that.
those things, they seem kind of like witchcraft in terms of putting one up. It's like, I don't know if I can get the chain right, and is it going to close all the way, or is it going to close too much? And it was really not that big of a deal. I mean, it was a big job, but I got it done in a day. Had help from my brother-in-law, so we made it happen. It was a good one.
Okay, good deal. Well, that's going to wrap up the segment.
Good
I thought
segment.
that was interesting.
I like it.
Yeah, some random questions. So we'll kind of keep that going. I promise, guys, I'll be back next time with some sort of really just riveting
That was a good segment.
segment
gotta bring
on
it
some
every
sort of rare plant or something.
Can't top the American chestnut. But
Yeah, well, that's true.
It was a good one.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning into the UK Man podcast. Hey, take some time to share this podcast with a friend. Leave us a review. And you don't even have to write a review. I just want to add that, you can just give some stars.
Yeah, 5 stars.
You want to
every
just do
time.
that. That's fine. But we'd love a written review if you could take the time to do so. And as always, check out our Facebook group page, and we will catch you guys next time.